everyone, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I have a button project for us. So if you've been around my channel, you know I love buttons, and I have acquired a bunch of new ones recently. So we're going to do some button ephemera making. So some of these I did with some words. So this is from my new autumn charm kit, just the word part. There's some beautiful papers in that kit if you haven't checked it out yet, but I decided to just use the sheet that has some of the sayings on these, and then I'm using ribbons and scraps and maybe pieces of fabric. So this one says, I believe in new beginnings. So this is going to be great as a bookmark, right? Easy. Or you could use it as a page edger on a journal, and you could use it as a belly band, a tuck spot, all kinds of things. This is that ribbon that I picked up at the yard sale with all the owls. I just love it. So I picked some fun buttons, and again, just made this one. I probably envision being, like I said, one of those page edgers, and even if it's taller than the page I put it on, how cute, you know, a little bit hanging off would be fine. And again, this one, same thing. You could do it as a belly band, so cute. And then this one I really just thought was fun, and in some neutral colors. I used some book page, and that butterfly was actually on the book page. Then I made some tiny ones. This one just says, yes, I am loved and I am brave, right? So just some, I think, important reminders. What a great thing to tie onto a package or with a ribbon on a gift, right? Again, awesome in journals, just to embellish a pocket, like right there, that would be so cute. You could tuck them in pockets. If you get it in the pocket, you could. You can top tags with them, journal cards. I think the options are pretty unlimited. And we're just going to see what we make today. And I will, again, I think this is pretty straightforward, layering and then using what you have as far as papers and maybe ribbon and fabric and buttons. So I'm going to set these aside for right now. And I did pour a bunch of just my mixed jars that I got at the yard sale, the bags, in this tray. It's going to take up some of my workspace, but I think it's worth it. And then I pulled out this one just because there was a bunch of yellows sorted, and I may go through and do some more sorting of some of these as well into smaller jars. But to help me dig through, if that gets in my way, I'll move it. But I pulled out some scraps, and like I said, I have access to some of my fabrics and ribbons. I was using these when we altered the jar lids, and I haven't used them all. And I also thought some of these would just be fun to make with ribbon, fabric, and buttons. Inspire and create, stitched with love. Inspiration is everywhere. Just so cute. So we'll just see what we make. Like I said, I just grabbed some things that I hadn't used yet. I love this paper, and I am starting to get into the fall mood. And this denim ribbon, I thought, wow, that's going to be pretty together. So let's make one definitely with this. And I'm using paper to back them. I mean, you could do just ribbon or fabric. I just wanted mine to have a little more structure. So I am going to cut. I think I can always, you know, go more narrow, but I'm going to cut just with a 2-inch strip. And I don't even know, whatever height the paper was, it was 7.5. So again, you have options. Love this. And like I said, this ribbon is really making me happy. Now it has wire, which gives it some nice structure, but I definitely don't want the wire sticking out on me. So put it like this and see what happens. So this was in that ribbon that was 25 cents a roll. Oh, and I'm still, real quick, I'm still working on my giveaway box. The drawing is next week, and I'm trying to put things that I use in here. So, and a few things that I've made. So it's getting there. There's one of the lids that I made. Just some treasures, right? So look at the buttons. So I'm getting there, and I'll keep adding to it. So if you missed signing up for the giveaway, oh, and don't forget the big journal. It's a lap book that I made. All right. So there's all kinds of things in here. If you missed signing up, there is one video that has all the details. So I will link that in the description. If I forget, somebody say something, but I will link it in the description, and you can go watch that video and make sure that you've signed up. And the winner will be in the video the day after Labor Day, so Tuesday. And if you're watching this later, I try to periodically do giveaways. I don't do the best with them, but I try. So let's, if you're interested, go check that out if it hasn't ended. Okay. Thinking I might pick, because these are a little bit wider, I might pick one of these. Why don't we do, let's use the little tear ruler and do Find Beauty Every Day. We'll make it a little more narrow than it was. All right, I'm gonna try to get these out of my way for a moment. Having my tray of buttons certainly takes a little of my workspace, but I think it's worth it. If you are new here, welcome. We have a lot of fun. I hope you will consider subscribing. Tea-Dye Distress Ink. And so you'll be notified when I have new videos. Hit that little bell. And if you guys like my content, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. If you're one of my returning viewers, thank you. You guys are awesome and so much fun. I'm going to leave that open. So much fun. So thank you. I appreciate you guys. Now, I just noticed this pink flower isn't quite the vibe I was going for, but I wonder if I put a couple of buttons right there in some of these more fall colors, what might happen, right? So let's just look. Not that I like to cover up my pretty flowers. Ooh, I like that one. It's kind of that pinky. Let's see if we can find one this color or similar color, but just a touch smaller. This one's like a little bit of a purple. We might be able to also go towards, I was thinking, you know, like one of the shell colors. I don't know. That's really looking cute, just like that. I wonder, I had a clear one laying on there. It might be okay with just one, but like it might, I don't know. Maybe. Okay, not quite sure why I did my buttons this way, but now I need to attempt to get them back in the tray. Okay, the other, that's a pretty button. The other thing that I'm trying to do is, I've been knocking my camera lately, and there's nothing like causing someone who makes videos all the time a little frantic than when they aren't sure what's happening with that. Okay, now one option is I can sew these and go all the way through, right, and get my layers together. Another option is I can put some thread, because I do kind of like seeing something through these, or even some twine, and maybe tie a bow or do something. So let's start with this one and maybe make it look a little fancier by tying a bow on this one. And then I'll think about the other one. And then I can always just use my hot glue to attach everything. Whoops, I said a bow, and there I am tying a knot. Ah, let's do a bow. All right. I have that button book that I came across too, and it's over on my other desk. But I am going to look through it and see if there are any projects in there with buttons that I think we need to definitely try, right? Oh, how cute. Yeah, this is cute. So I think if I again, use a little piece of this twine just to bring these two together. But I think this one, because I don't want to hide any of the fun intricacy, whoa, of this button. Let's bring it this way and just have a little bit showing, you know, through the buttonhole. We'll just do a tie on the back and glue it down like this. And I do like having some of the little threads, so I'm going to wait to trim those off till we see. I did remember to turn the hot glue gun on earlier, so I'm not having to wait for it to heat up, which is always fun. Oh, this is a clear button, so I want to be kind of careful with how much glue I put on there. Oh, this makes me happy. I'm going to leave the one with the bow a little bit longer. Now, when I'm done, I will probably put just a small drop of glue on here so that won't untie unexpectedly. Thinking about bringing this over to the side a little bit so we can see that little bit of the flower and get it a little off center. What do you guys think? I think this one, I mean, I don't even think it needs a whole lot. Let's put a little bit of glue down. I wish it was just a touch more narrow, but I think it'll be okay just like that. So there we go. Get over just a touch. Now I do want to bring that up some, and I may chop this off just a little. Sometimes I have to kind of see it as I go to get the proportions that I want. There we go. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's put just a drop of glue right there and let it dry while we're doing some other ones, and then hopefully that bow won't untie on me. Very sweet. I like it. Okay, that one was easy. I'll put that in the pile and we'll look at all of them at the end. There's a little bow. So let's use one of the words from my new kit. Again, this is Autumn Charm. There's a little button too. Okay. And I will link it for you in the description. I will also have the making and creating digital collage subsite for you in case you're interested in those sayings that I just used on that one, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get these trimmed up, and then we'll make a few of these. And again, I did those with the multiple buttons and didn't even put a word. You can always put a word on later or skip the word. I think they'll be pretty the way they are. Those owls, I have to tell you guys, I have not been happier than when I was playing with that in a long time. It was so much fun. Okay, can always trim them down more if I decide to. So I picked You Are Heard, Change Can Be Beautiful, and I Can Do Hard Things. Now there's other sayings on this sheet too, like grateful, family, favorite time of the year, fall, leaves, those types of things to kind of go with the fall charm theme that I had going on. All right, here's a piece of paper. It's got the fun vintage look on this side and then this really pretty. To me, that is a blue that's really good for fall. So I am going to, I'm going to keep it out. And this one I was thinking maybe we would try something a little different. Like maybe we'll do several, I'll trim them up later, but several pieces of ribbon or lace to just get an idea. I'm digging through. I'm digging through, y'all. Be patient, please. Okay. Is that too much green? I don't know. That might be fun, the green with the blue. I'm just picking some random ones. You know I like odd numbers, so 3 might be good. Let's get some ink on the paper. And this is kind of what I do. I just play. I start looking at things and thinking what would look nice together. So if we did something like this, maybe layer this in this order so that they hang down. And then how about change can be beautiful? Since these are a little bit longer, I really don't want to cover them all up. I may even do something like that, like to the side. And again, find a button that's going to be just right. I don't know, that's kind of cute, and I'll trim these up. So let's see what we can do. I think I'm going to, and I did this with one of the other ones. Before I go any further, I think I'm going to staple these together, and I will attempt to then use the button to cover up the staple a little bit, but to just give me some options while I'm working here. Okay, let me bring the button a little bit closer to make it a little easier for me to see. We can go with like a blue that's in sort of this family. I added green, so we could probably do a fun green, maybe with a bow. That one would be cute. Oh gosh, look at this one. It's covered. It's crocheted. Ah! What if we did that with the blue on top? I think that's so cute. All right. It's fun watching somebody dig through buttons, isn't it? I don't know. These are very, oh, I think it's the same button. Okay. Here's one with some green, but it's not really the right color green. All right, here's a darker green. What do we think? All right, it's either going to be this green or this blue. What are y'all thinking? Oh, it's a hard choice. I'm thinking of the green. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my trusty twine here, and I'm going to, wait, I think I want to do it this way. I'm going to see what it looks like, and then we will decide if, actually that's not how I want to do that. If we like the green, if not, then we'll thread the blue, but hopefully this will only take me a second. I want to have the crisscross on top. So there we go. Is this the top of the button? No. Let's just see if this works. I'm struggling a little bit. My pen is struggling. That's what I want to do. There we go. I love this super skinny twine. And I go through stages with things, you know, that I use things more sometimes than others. But, well, maybe, let's see. But it's pretty easy to work with. And I don't even think I need a bow. I think I'm just going to leave long threads. Yeah, I like it. We're going to go with this one. I definitely didn't need to waste. I mean, I'll still use this piece, definitely. I don't even know what I was saying. I go through stages where I use a particular craft supply a lot, and then I won't use it for a while, and then I use it a lot. So that's probably the phase I've been in with that twine. I haven't pulled it out as much recently. Okay, I'm just gonna go like that with the hot glue. Hot glue is my friend these days. And then we're gonna put that kind of off to the side too. I don't know who crocheted this button cover a long time ago, but you did a great job. I love it, and it is getting some new life in my project today. Okay, so the question is, do I want to add a little more glue to the ribbon to give it a little more structure, or leave it like this? I think for now I'm going to leave it like this. I did use a staple, but because I didn't staple to the backing card, you know, we don't even have a staple back there showing. I think that one's cute. Okay, let's do one that maybe has a few extra buttons and something else going on. So I kind of want to use another piece of this paper, and I'm going to, but I haven't used this. This is similar to the one I did like this. It's a similar idea. So that's one thought. I'm just digging through some of the ribbons that I got. This is very vintagey looking. Let's do this. And I'm thinking maybe even on the other side. What do y'all think? Kind of go a little country chic. Let's do it. It'll be fun. And then we'll have the flowers on the other side. All right, let's go for, I'm gonna do 1 3/4 inch width. And again, I think this is 7.5. Just to give you a reference, use whatever paper and supplies that you want to use. It really is okay. All right, I was thinking we would put it on this side, but now I'm looking at it and I kind of like that green, picking up these green flowers. So I'm actually going to chop that there and chop it here. I didn't want the hole that had been poked into the ribbon, so I'm not going to put a pin back on that one for now. Okay, not quite sure where I'm going with this one yet, but let's see. And I definitely want to make like a little bitty one, so, or at least a couple little bitty ones. Do you guys like these? I hope you do. I love, if you guys don't remember this or know this, I love making ephemera. It just makes me so happy. We might use that as something. It just makes me happy, and yeah, can't help it. I just love it. You are heard. I wonder, I may not like this if I get it too close, but I'm wondering if I can cut this in such a way, whoa, yeah, that I might be able to place it in the ribbon. All right, let's just set it there for now to think about it. You are loved. If not, we'll use it for something else. And then maybe a yellow, just because we've got this yellow here. Wow, look, that button looks like it melted at some point. Can you guys see? It still looks cute. The color of that one went well. Ooh, I like that one, and it already has thread on it. All right. Thinking, and they won't all be yellow, but I'm thinking a couple of yellow. And then let's find one. This is a garlic jar that I just covered with a little piece of paper. Just going for a pink. Might be a little more pink than I want. Maybe one like that. And I don't even know if you guys can see the basket of buttons well or not, but I'm just, that one's a little more than what I want. Ooh, look at this button, you guys. That's pretty, and it's kind of picking up that, and it has a pretty design on it too. sometimes it's hard to use my supplies because I'm like, oh, and then so I've really, really attempted to embrace the idea that I have these things to use them and to give them, you know, new life. And it isn't helping me or anyone else. I mean, I guess they're not in the landfill, but if I just sit here and, I mean, I have a lot of joy looking at them too. But, you know, that's why I have them. So I need to stop worrying and saving them for the perfect thing, because this project is worthy of a pretty button or multiple pretty buttons. Yeah. Okay. So let me just think of what I'm going to do here. This may be more than what I want, but I did want to get a good idea going. Okay. Now we could stay like this and, whoa, just do buttons right down the line like this. We could do something like that. Or we could do what I was doing and go a little more haphazard, which tends to be what I tend to do. Whoa. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to get every button with thread or something, but I do want, I don't know, I want them either sewn or with thread and glued on. So I'm going to take a sec and just sew a couple of these on or tie some string to them, and we'll get going. If I remember, I will put a strip of this in the giveaway box. It almost feels like a paper kind of ribbon. I don't know if you can hear that. And then the lace is sewn on. It's nice, but I don't think it would be the easiest, like, to tie a bow for a package. I don't know. Okay. And again, these buttons that I'm sewing on, they are not going to be used, you know, and get a lot of, I was thinking about that, but I ended up not doing it, a lot of wear and tear or anything. So I'm not too worried. All right. I know I'm going to want one of the yellow ones, maybe this little one on that little flower there. Bring this down, maybe do something like that so far. Okay, I'm starting to feel it. Maybe I need a green button. I didn't pick out a green. Save that for a sec. I know there's green in here. I'm seeing greens, but my hand just wasn't going towards any. Okay, let's do, would it be better with this one? Something like that. 2, 3. Of course, I'm ending up with 6, and you guys know I love an odd number. Okay, the only one that is attached is this one. So let me just think for a quick minute. How about that? Okay. So to do that, I don't want to forget what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ahead and just attach that one to the ribbon. I am going to put the word down. Probably with the texture of this ribbon, could have just used, you know, regular glue on that, but we're doing good. Okay. Let's put some glue right here to help me. And I did decide to go over a touch because I know I want this little one right there in the flower. Okay, I'm going to put this one about here. Let's tie a piece of twine to this one. And then we'll decide what else we're doing. I just think this button is precious. I bet it was on a little girl's dress or outfit. You guys can see the detail. Okay, I'm just gonna do a knot. And again, I'm not being the best steward of my twine. It's just so much easier, as you guys know, to tie and everything if you just go ahead and cut it longer. All right, I'm gonna put, this one already has some thread on it. So he's gonna go right there. And then let's see if I can, I'm not gonna sew it on, but if I can just real quick put a little bit of this neutral thread through this one. I have a knot tied and it may be okay if it doesn't pull through. Yeah. Quick little thread. There we go. I know this is the most riveting. Y'all can hit fast forward if you want to. It won't hurt my feelings. All right, there we go. I'm gonna kind of bunch that thread up in there, hopefully. Some of it's sticking out, that's okay. All right, and now I'm gonna put this one down. And again, it needs something, so real quick, we will, let's go. I think if I start there, it will do what I want it to do. Let's see, this one has 4 holes. So, almost there. Sometimes it is easier, you know, literally just sewing them on. Okay, that is not how I wanted to do that, because now I have 1 thread in the back and 1 in the front. I'm not gonna worry about it. We're gonna glue it down and it's gonna be the weird one, and I'll trim it off here in a sec. Not a problem. It just looked like somebody didn't really think about what they were doing, and it kind of looks fun and different. All right, didn't use that button. Look at that one. Isn't that cute? You are loved. No, you are heard. I think we did You Are Loved. And I definitely, here, I can do hard things. All right, so let's set that one aside. And then real quick, we are going to do the easiest of the easy peasy. Once I pick out just the right piece of paper. Struggling to find the paper I want to use. How about a piece of book page? I've done that. And we're just going to do a little one. And I may even use this little bow sitting here. Let's tear this off. Get ourselves a piece to work with. This may be wider than what I want, but let me get a look at it here for a second. I can do hard things, and I can have a bow. And what would go pretty with this? Maybe like, I know it is not, we're at the end of summer. I was trying to get maybe one a little more goldy. Goldy. A little bit of yellow. Let's use that one. Okay, but I do like having my buttons kind of in their color groups. Yeah, just to give a hint of the button under there. So I'm just gonna, this one is a little different. I'm just gonna glue right there. And I'm going to hot glue this button right there. I'm actually gonna add another glue stick. All right, and then this is gonna go right here, and then I can do hard things. Love it. All right. Look at that. So simple. And again, you can keep going. You can add more, less. So much you can do with this project. But pretty quickly, I think, again, I, of course, love to think through all my options. But you can pretty quickly have some delightful pieces. This is one of my favorites that we did. And this one, oh my gosh. Let's see what else. Oh, and I did some of the really itty bitty ones off camera, right? Get this out of the way. This is a favorite, and of course the owls too. I don't know if I can I pick a favorite? Tell me if you guys have a favorite. If there's one you like or a style, you know, you particularly like, let me know. Anyway, super easy and fun. You can make them chunky. You can make them in circles. You can make them square. I mean, just keep having fun. All right, until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.